Let's talk about Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So far, so good for this team. Baker Mayfield's going to earn a contract extension with this team after this season if they find a way to make the NFL playoffs. And they should, because they are clearly the best team in this division. They beat the New Orleans Saints once before this season. They beat the Carolina Panthers a couple weeks ago, and they also beat the Atlanta Falcons. They have beaten every single team in this division, and they are on a 4-game win streak. The last 4 games, Baker Mayfield has 9 passing touchdowns to just 1 interception. That is a recipe for wins, and that's what's been going on with this team. Now, the run game is still a bit fishy. I like Rashard White. I think that he's a very good running back. The problem is they can't get a push up front or get creases with this offensive line. So you're putting a lot of pressure on Baker Mayfield at times to throw you in games and continue that to go. But Dave Canales has not just 100% given up on the run game. Rashard White is averaging 3.6 yards a carry, but he does have a 100-yard rushing game in the last couple of weeks. So that's a good sign to see. If he can just continue to just get 2 to 3 yards and just help out Baker Mayfield and fight through contact, that will help out with this team because they can use the play action a lot with this team. The thing is with Baker Mayfield, he's a very good play action quarterback, and he has 26 touchdowns to just 8 interceptions on the season. The last time he had a season like this was in 2020 with the Cleveland Browns. They made the playoffs and they defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he has playoff experience. It reminds me a lot of what Geno Smith was able to do last season with the Seattle Seahawks. He's having his redemption arc right now with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He hasn't done it against some of the top tier defenses in the NFL in the last couple of weeks, but the Atlanta Falcons defense is nothing to just sneeze at and just say, hey, it is what it is. They have a top passing defense in the NFL. He looked very good against that defense. The Carolina Panthers defense is tough. Despite their record, they're a top rated defense as well. So he's going out there, taking care of the football, and he's keeping this team in games. I've been very skeptical of Baker Mayfield in the past. Matter of fact, I've been very down on Baker Mayfield in the past, but I will say this right now. He's proven me and a lot of people wrong, and he's getting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the sweet spot right now. I know it's not saying much because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in a bad division, but they have also went out and they've had some impressive games as well throughout the season. And Baker Mayfield has fought against some of those tough defenses, and he has looked okay against some of those defenses, and he's looked good against some of those defenses as well. So he hasn't been this horrible quarterback for this team. He is winning them football games, to be completely honest. The 4 touchdowns against Green Bay Packers, they needed every single last one of those touchdowns to go out there and win the football game because their secondary is atrocious and their run game is also very inconsistent as well. Mike Evans continues to be one of the best wide receivers in the game. He is so overrated. Another 1,000-yard season for him in his career. Every single season in his career, he has over 1,000 yards receiving. He's going to go down as one of the best Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receivers of all time. Chris Godwin does only have 1 receiving touchdown on the season, but he has still been a very good number 2 option for Baker Mayfield and crew and getting things done. Cade Otton has been a very solid tight end for this team as well. The offensive line has also looked very good at pass protection and giving Baker Mayfield the right blocks to let him go out there and read the right defenses. And anything can happen in the playoffs, especially when you're on the home turf. And the fact that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers may go out there and win this division in back-to-back years. Last season it was with Tom Brady. This season it was with Baker Mayfield. It's kind of insane because Todd Bowles was on the hot seat at a certain point in time in this season. And all of a sudden, the last couple of games, they've ramped up the pressure and they have looked better. Now, I mentioned this a couple of seconds ago. Their secondary is still not that good. Their secondary is one of the worst ranked secondaries in the NFL in coverage, and it's not on the players. A lot of it is because Todd Bowles blitzes a lot, but he kind of has to. Vita Vea is a very good pass rusher with this team. He's one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL, especially at the defensive tackle position. He has 5.5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. The problem is you don't have another guy around him that could consistently go out there and get pressure over and over again. Shaquille Barrett does get pressure, but he's not that same pass rusher he was a couple years ago or even a year ago. You could tell that torn Achilles has taken a lot off of him, but he is still a very good playmaker on the defensive side. He has 4.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 interception. I want to see more out of him as well. And he deals with getting chip blocked and getting double teamed, but he hasn't been that same explosive pass rusher off the edge. I'm not saying that he is a bad pass rusher. He's just not the same pass rusher he was a couple years ago when they made the Super Bowl run. And speaking of players that's not the same since they made the Super Bowl run, you look at Devin White. Devin White has either completely checked out with this team or he's not that good of a linebacker anymore. The talent is there. He just needs to mature, wake up, and give this team his all, because when he gives his all, He can be one of the top interior linebackers in the NFL. Look at what happened a couple years ago when they went on that Super Bowl run. He was stopping the run. He was amazing against the pass. He still has it in him. I just need Todd Bowles to just wake that monster up in him, or he needs to do it himself. But he needs to give full effort as they come down the stretch in this season. Hopefully, if they do make the playoffs, he can go back into that form. He's had a lot of decent games this season. He's also had a lot of games to where you just look at him and say, man, what is going on with you? And you look at guys around him. Antoine Winfield, that secondary, has been a very good safety with this team. Five forced fumbles on the season, 2 interceptions, and 11 pass deflections. He has been the best player in that secondary. So they have very good defensive players. I'm just worried about how they blitz a lot with this team. That's pretty much it. But the defense has a lot of veterans that went on that Super Bowl run. They just need Devin White to wake up. And if Antoine Winfield can continue to play at this level, this team's going to be a scary team to face if you do face them in the playoffs. Now, I'm not saying they're going to make a deep playoff run because they still do have a lot of questions. Their run game is too inconsistent for me, but give Baker Mayfield credit for getting this team to this point, because a lot of people, including myself, wrote him off for this season, and I thought that he'll just be a bridge quarterback. I thought this Buccaneers team would go slightly below 500 and that he would just be on and just be a journeyman quarterback. They may want to go out and re-sign him after this season to a short-term extension, similar to what the Seattle Seahawks gave Geno Smith. Give him another prove-it deal, and if he can come out and can continue to play like this, they may give him a long-term extension after this season, especially if they do make a deep playoff run. But let me know in the comment section below how you feel about Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Are they legit, or are they just a team that's just in a bad division right now and they're beating up on a lot of bad football teams? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, each and every last win, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.